Overwatch 1 was designed to try to be easy and inviting to those who didn't really want to play it, whereas Overwatch 2 is built around fans of the game. And if you only want to passingly play and not really invest, well, you're invited to enjoy it, but we don't have to really listen to your opinion, okay?
Wait, are you serious? Sometimes it feels like AAA gaming today is a test of what you can get away with. Some companies create heartfelt pieces of media that leave the audience changed forever, ingraining a tiny piece of that journey onto their souls. Others make games that are tainted by unnecessary systems and monetization that only makes out-of-touch shareholders smile, while gamers grow weary and frustrated. The best games are uncompromising in their message, their commitment to great gameplay, and their ability to unite players around the world through videos and memes on social media about their shared experiences playing a game. Live service games don't really fit the bill of uncompromised fun. They're usually enjoyable, but they always have battle passes and limited time events that make your wallet cry in pain while you work out how to slice up your next paycheck. Everyone has a different tolerance level for engagement models and monetization, where one person draws the line, another is completely unbothered. Which brings us to the complicated mess that is the free-to-play shooter called Overwatch 2. In 2016, Overwatch pursued the throne, taking aim at the title of the king of all video games. Through an aggressive marketing push combined with a well-received beta, Overwatch was gunning for the top spot, and for a time, it succeeded. Everybody and their mother was posting Overwatch highlights and knew what Overwatch was. But to understand how we got to Overwatch 2, we need to look at what Blizzard did with its predecessor. The original Overwatch was a 6v6 hero shooter that let players choose between playing tank, support, and DPS, allowing players to experience winning as part of a team in a PvP game. The game assigned both teams objectives that they had to fulfill in order to win a match. These objectives would in turn force the teams to fight each other so that they could fulfill their assigned objective. If you were a tank, you created space for your team by taking pressure off the other roles because you were more durable and defensive. Supports, on the other hand, specialized in things like restoring health, providing mitigation, buffing allies, or in some cases debuffing enemies to make them easier to kill. Damage per second, or DPS characters, focused on eliminating enemies through a variety of different playstyles. Some DPS specialized in flanking and breaking apart the backline of a team, whereas others played further back, such as snipers. The priorities and responsibilities of players varied based on the role they were assigned to, as well as the specific character they were playing. In an idealized scenario, teams worked together as a well-oiled machine to achieve victory. The game sold like hotcakes because it had a unique art style combined with a diverse cast of characters that suited any player, even those that were less aim-inclined. After you won a game, if you got the craziest player in the lobby, your point of view would be featured as the play of the game for all to witness. Its play of the game system was so effective at generating viral clips on social media that Blizzard's lawyers put forth a patent to try and prevent the competition from being able to replicate it, though it's unclear whether that actually got approved or not. Overwatch was on top of the world, and Blizzard was building a multimedia empire with its new IP. Each animated short has been viewed over 10 million times, and Overwatch was a household name. Even non-gamers vaguely knew what it was because of its popularity. Overwatch utilized a loot box system that rewarded players with one loot box every time they leveled up, which, in my experience, was roughly 1 hour of game time with my friends. The contents were either items or credits of either common, rare, epic, or legendary rarity. You could roll duplicate items inside each box, which would then provide you with a fixed amount of credits that you could save up for future skins that are yet to release. This loot box system was heavily contentious at the time, but it didn't put any significant damper on the game's success. It goes without saying that I loved Overwatch 1. I played it for over 600 hours with a bunch of my friends, streamed regularly to about a dozen viewers who watched me climb from gold all the way to master before plateauing out just short of grandmaster. The season I quit Overwatch is a really infamous one. I quit during what was called World of Tanks, which would later morph into the beast known as GOATs, which would knock the game out of mainstream popularity.
This combo's worked well for them before, but as soon as they see the defensive setup, they will just simply swap it away. Crucial time lost here for the Outlaws.
Its success had some pretty novel side effects, like the explosion of video game pornography as its own not safe for work subgenre. This in turn led to legal threats, which then led to press coverage, which then made the pornography more popular, contrary to what Blizzard wanted from their IP. Before Overwatch 2 released, people were skeptical the game would ever release. By this time, Overwatch was a game that was more renowned for its inescapable pornography than the qualities of the game or the world built by its creators. This tweet is hysterical, but humor often reflects what the public thinks about something on a generalized level. Today, Overwatch 2 is recapturing its moment. It's not the #1 game by any stretch of the imagination. It's still losing to some of the strongest video game mainstays, but it's leaped over Apex Legends, which was easily a top 3 competitive game on Twitch before the release of Overwatch 2. The marketing for it has been forceful and deliberate. They want you to only think about how fun Overwatch 2 is, and how you'll be missing out if you don't jump back on and play the latest iteration, even if a lot of it will feel familiar to returning players. The name of the game with Overwatch 2 is the fear of missing out. And don't get me wrong, there is actually a good game underneath its systems, but its unabated greed is merely the first step in ruining an otherwise great and enjoyable competitive multiplayer experience. It would be misleading to gloss over the fact that Activision Blizzard has consistently faced numerous controversies regarding the treatment of workers, the toxic work culture, and many other controversies that I can't do justice in one video. This is conjecture on my part, but I believe that marketing on Blizzard's side has probably bombarded people with advertisements so that they think more about, oh, everyone's going to be playing this game, than the negative things that their company has been known for. The developers learned from the first beta of Overwatch 1 that making people watch content creators play a game that they cannot is frustrating. Thus, they handed out beta access through Twitch drops that required viewers to watch streams for about 4 hours before they could get their own hands on it. Whether they ended up liking the game or not was irrelevant to Blizzard. Investing that time into getting access was an icebreaker, the key to grabbing their attention and making the consumer think, well, I watched 4 hours of a streamer to get this game, I need to make sure I play it while it's available. This then prompts people to tell their friends to watch those streams and get access, and repeat ad infinitum. This drives up the viewership for a game that hasn't even released, and it drums up hype for a sequel people were doubtful would even release in their lifetime. Overwatch 2 has been running Twitch drops for in-game cosmetics every single week since release, as far as I can tell, to keep the viewership inflated. This incentivizes players to return or new players to start playing. They want the game to stay relevant and make others understand that it's thriving, it's popular, and you have to get in on that. Funnily enough, this kind of tactic kind of just inflates the viewership so you can brag about it to shareholders. The sad thing is that this is one of the few ways to get free items in Overwatch 2. But this is not the redemption story of a fallen king. This is the story of how Overwatch 2 is actually a great game buried beneath the excessive greed that wouldn't be satisfied with the riches of a king. Overwatch 2 is the picture of greed, not just because of the pricing decisions, but the lack of meaningful ways to earn things as a free-to-play player. It's more difficult than ever to express yourself with emotes, voice lines, sprays, and skins, which were quintessential to the experience of Overwatch 1. You played, you unlocked, and you kept playing. That's how it always was, but now you don't get anything for playing, even if you own the premium battle pass, because of how abysmal the reward cycle is. The sequel has one clear goal, to tell the players that, hey, you earned a lot of stuff for free in the original game, but we want $20 per skin now, and $10 per battle pass. Or, you can just enjoy your old skins from the sidelines because you're too poor to be playing our game. In 80 levels of the battle pass, you get 1 mythic rarity Genji skin that's customizable, 5 legendary skins, 3 epic skins, and a slew of other customization options. If you purchase the premium battle pass, you immediately unlock the new hero. I personally think that some of the skins are cool, especially the Pharah legendary and the Genji mythic, but you know what sours that for me? You get 0 premium currency from completing the battle pass. 100 coins is roughly $1 at face value, so the battle pass is roughly $10 or 1,000 coins. Now why does that matter? Surely the rewards themselves are worth the asking price because of the perceived value from the consumers, right? Wrong. You could make the best skins in the world, but you're still charging me more than Fortnite, Warzone, or Apex, which refund more than the total amount of coins that are required to buy the subsequent battle passes, giving you access to every single season in perpetuity. You never have to buy more than one battle pass, assuming that you complete one. It's fair because I completed almost every single Apex Battle Pass since Season 5 except periods where work and study didn't allow me to play the game, so I just didn't buy it. You buy one Battle Pass, you have them all. That's the industry standard. There is no longer a free-to-play way to gain skins in Overwatch 2. Yes, you can grind weekly missions, but at 60 coins per week, you can only buy every second Battle Pass for free on the 17th week of saving them up. There is no way to earn free Battle Passes in perpetuity, a problem that is so bad that people are starting to play World of Warcraft in order to earn Overwatch coins through WoW tokens instead of grinding the abysmal weekly challenges. A Battle Pass in PC gaming is supposed to be a lifetime membership to a game. Yeah, you have to complete it, but players don't just buy Battle Passes during busy seasons for work and life balance, so they can just buy the next Battle Pass they know they can complete. The Battle Pass for Overwatch 2 is essentially a subscription model, in an industry where Battle Passes are buy to play. You're paying $5 a month because they removed reasonable ways of earning skins in the game, and even then, you can't feasibly earn skins that are seasonal and limited. Let's interrogate just how bad player expression is now because of the new monetization. Overwatch 1 was a buy-to-play game, sitting at about $40 to purchase the game on PC and I think about 60 or 80 Australian dollars down under. The transition to free-to-play with the sequel was one that came at a heavy cost. We would lose free progression in the form of loot boxes, and gain back a battle pass system and extremely expensive cosmetics. Each week in Overwatch 2 you can earn 60 Overwatch coins per week. A legendary skin is 1900 coins, which will take you 32 weeks or 8 months to unlock one seasonal legendary item. This is after you meticulously complete all these inane tasks that encourage you to engage with the game through various modes such as casual, arcade, playing heroes you don't usually play, and if you started today you'd have your first skin by July of 2023, which is winter in Oceania and summer in the Northern Hemisphere. 3 real-life seasons from now you will get your first skin of choice. The pricing for items in Overwatch 2 is complicated, and it depends on whether the item is new or old, permanent or seasonal. A common seems to be about 25 coins and a rare seems to be 75 or 300. An epic is between 250 and 1000, and a legendary is between 1000 or 1900. Some skins can't even be bought individually and you're forced to pay the upcharge that comes with random items you don't even want, removing fair choice for the consumer. I have nothing against incentivizing diverse modes of play, but it's moronic to think that playing a load of hours each week should reward players with 60 cents of premium currency when players used to get $1 every hour they played the game. One might argue that Overwatch 1 spoiled everyone with its generosity when it came to monetization, and I know plenty of players with several dozen legendary skins from just being dedicated players. This is my lineup for Reinhardt, and I rarely ever swiped on Overwatch 1. The media has highlighted that people really don't like the new monetization, because it's excessive for what would have been free in Overwatch 1, and for some countries, the lack of localized pricing cuts a giant hole in people's paychecks. Esports reports that in the US, a $20 coin pack is roughly 1.7% of someone's monthly wages before taxes. In Canada, it's 26, which is around 1% of theirs. In Brazil, it's 8% of theirs. Argentina, 4%. And in Mexico, it's 2 days of work at minimum wage. The more reactionary defenders of the new monetization might say, well, they're not essential to the gameplay and they're not really affecting you if you can't have them, but that would be ignorant of the fact that multiplayer gaming has become a cultural moment that people want to be part of, and the predecessor to Overwatch 2 let you earn all of these things as a free player. The excessive skin prices don't even stop here, with Overwatch League tokens having increased between Overwatch 1 and 2. On Black Friday, the Watchpoint pack sold for $24 US, a 40% deduction of its price. This was no cause for celebration, as the value of the pack was purposely inflated because they knew that, hey, in just 2 months' time, we can lower the price and everyone will pat us on the back for it. The main draw of the pack being on sale is not in fact the skins available to you, 12 legendaries and 5 epics, but the Battle Pass, which would ordinarily run you about $30 US if you were going to buy 3200 coins to receive a similar amount of coins. Envision this. You're a greedy company that wants to receive positive press for listening to the fans, so you release a game with exorbitant prices that gradually go down over time to make it seem like you actually care about community feedback. You put things on sale more frequently, you gradually lower the prices, and everyone smiles and says, "This is the Blizzard I know." But you know what makes this stupid pricing even funnier? I own the majority of these skins and I tapered off the game hard after Season 3. So no, Blizzard doesn't get my praise for purposely gouging the hell out of us, then putting that pack up for sale. It's a tiny concession among a slew of terrible decisions that are meant to make you more malleable and accepting of being robbed of your paycheck. The pricing is egregious, and a hilarious Reddit post pointed out that collecting items to get this achievement is basically an extremely expensive endeavor now. Player expression was gutted out of Overwatch 2. New players don't know the joys of not having to spend $60 every few months to have cool threads. Now they're stuck chasing rotating shop items like Fortnite kids waiting for that one skin to return. Returning players are probably buying the battle pass because they already have skins for every character, but they're acutely aware that what we have now is infinitely worse than the loot boxes we earn just by playing the game, with no hard limit on how many you could get per week. At $19 a skin, you're trying to tell people that every few months they will pay as much as God of War Ragnarok or Elden Ring for a substantially less meaningful and memorable experience after buying one battle pass and 3 skins? Other games like Fortnite, Apex, and Warzone also have expensive skins, but Overwatch didn't used to nickel and dime you for customization. It seems like they're just mad that people enjoyed grinding Overwatch 1, and they're making us pay back our taxes for reducing their lost revenue. But man, it sure doesn't end there. In Overwatch 2, new heroes are locked from competitive for 2 weeks after a new season begins, giving you some time to earn it before it gets unbanned. They're locked away at level 55 out of 80, which is 69% of the entire battle pass, though the actual battle pass level cap is 200, but you get less interesting rewards after 80. If you're built like our friends at Your Overwatch, surely you would purchase every premium battle pass because of their inherent value to competitive players. A terrible rhetoric because it signifies that Overwatch 2 is not pay to win, but pay to participate. Like, oh, you didn't keep up with hero releases? That's crazy, man. Enjoy less freedom and ability to adapt because you didn't grind for 4 hours a day since season release despite your adult responsibilities. From experience, you get about 1 battle pass level per hour of gameplay after your challenges are exhausted, but your mileage may vary. Blizzard expects you to play 4 hours a day for 2 weeks so that you can have the ability to play the new hero on your team, and I'm supposed to believe that's fair in a game where you have to adapt and switch based on what's happening in the game? Let's be serious. This isn't League of Legends, it's not Dota 2, it's not Siege where you're locked into a draft. This is a game which has had hero swapping as a part of its core identity since its inception. Yes, you can earn new heroes for free, but at 4 hours a day if you work full time, you're spending 8 hours working, 4 hours gaming, leaving you extremely little time to do anything else you want to do because you're trying to keep up. This in turn is just going to frustrate anyone who works full time into just buying the battle pass, which is why they do it. That's why it's so deep. Because if you work 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, you're just gonna go, well, you know, it's like half an hour's pay, whatever. Which is incredibly predatory monetization. The main difference between Overwatch 2 and other games is that you can stockpile the ability to unlock characters. In Apex, I'm sitting on enough credits to unlock like the next 4 legends and I'm not even playing daily anymore. The inability to stockpile free currency for future heroes is removing the industry standard for free to play. It's addiction by design because they need you to either buy the battle pass or grind extremely hard for 4 hours a day to remain relevant with new releases, and it's not a coincidence. Some may argue that you don't actually need the new character to win, but what happens when that new character radically impacts your team's ability to win and you don't have the liberty of choice?
Amazing, good job.
Huge. Nice.
That... Yeah, I popped it.
Winston one. Okay, stay low.
Lower, top left, nice.
Yeah, you just have to hold that shit and lose, I guess. One of the only reasons that Kiriko isn't complained about with regards to unlocking her is because owners of the first game just got it for free. The clip from Your Overwatch used at the beginning was heavily panned by their fans. The video sports over 7,000 dislikes because it confuses enthusiasm for new Overwatch content and skins with consumer-friendly practices. I'm sorry, but that take was ignorant of any conceivable universe that we live in, Frito. Thankfully, the community doesn't agree with you, which is why they dislike bombed the hell out of the video and left many comments expressing disappointment. Whether it's time gating a competitively viable character behind a premium battle pass or an extensive grind, it's bad for the consumer no matter how you spin it. I lost all respect for that channel after watching a video that just boiled down to, "Here's your boots, sir, served on a silver platter." The pricing of cosmetics is bad. The battle pass is greedy, and the lack of tangible rewards for free players in the sequel is simply baffling. Overwatch 2 is using the cultural momentum to rob the consumer blind. I'm not even that rigid of a critic of loot boxes and gachas and things like that. I play plenty of mobile games. I just think that Blizzard completely debased Overwatch because they know they can get away with it in the long term, especially with new consumers flooding in that don't know that they deserve better. Buried very deeply underneath the egregious and cynical monetization is a genuinely good game. When Overwatch 1 died off in popularity, there were dozens of people I just didn't have anything to do with anymore. We had no more common ground, but now the sequel's out, we've got a new opportunity to play together. While I think the skill-based matchmaking is honestly egregious and quite awful, I can't deny that the game has given me a medium to interact with people that I don't usually game with. The day-to-day experience is best enjoyed when you're not thinking about how greedy the game has become because the modes, maps, and characters are pretty well designed, despite a very rigid professional metagame. Unfortunately, Overwatch 2 is built to make you addicted to it, not through a commitment to its unique gameplay or because the game is just that good, but because it uses a drip-feed reward system that gives a lot less than returning players are going to be used to. To complete your weekly challenges, you're going to have to win arcade games, do healing, block damage, and really force yourself to go out of your way to pursue the coins that you would otherwise miss out on. I'm not against additional progression like battle passes and weekly rewards. Incentivizing continued engagement is to prevent people from feeling stagnant and unrewarded for their continued journey with a game, preventing them from abandoning it altogether and burning out super quickly. My issue is that Overwatch 2 is giving players a pittance because the game is now free for everyone, and that loot boxes were unfair, so everyone has to suffer now. Yeah, if you buy the battle pass, you do get skins between 1 and 80, but between 81 and 200, you get nothing but titles. 120 levels of nothing but words attached to your name. Like, are you serious? For 120 hours of your life, you get permanent titles that let you flex that you grinded really hard in Season 1. Like, who cares? They can be unlocked for free and you don't need to pay to get them, but imagine getting skins every hour you played the game for 6 years and then all of a sudden one day you get titles for playing for 200 hours. There are zero cosmetics between 81 and 200. It's all titles. The thing is, people don't want to miss these items because once they're gone forever. So they grind these 200 levels playing way more Overwatch than they need to because the game gives them 59 days to play 200 hours, which averages out to about 3 hours a day rounded, which is probably less if you factor in missions, events, etc. But the raw math still paints a bleak picture for what they want from players. Every live service game is designed to make you addicted. It's not unique to Overwatch 2. Apex has limited time skins and challenges, and so does Fortnite. Every game is trying to capture a moment that people from the out looking in want to capitalize on and be part of. When they miss it, they feel salty and bitter, so they open up their wallets and fork over the money. Monetization is out of control in general, I agree. But Overwatch is starting to test the waters on their players, then turning up the heat before we realize we're being boiled alive. In the past, COD games had just DLC maps and zombies expansions. Now you have a cash shop and a battle pass in a $70 game. Live service games reflect the rot that gaming is facing, and honestly, I pick my poison when it comes to them, but unfortunately, even with how egregious the broader gaming industry is, Overwatch 2 is trying to push that envelope even further with what game publishers are allowed to get away with. Even with things that have nothing to do with money, the game tries to trick you into playing more than you have to. The new rank system hides your skill rating and only tells you what it is after 7 wins or 20 losses. Do you know what this does to people? They might win 3 games, now they're at 5 of 7, and they think, just 2 more games. If you're having a really bad one, you might play another 10 games with 8 of them being losses. It's kind of ridiculous. It's about the chase. It is always about the chase. Pursuing that thing that is ever so close but slightly out of reach. That is the fundamental principle with which Overwatch 2's systems were designed. People want to know whether they go up or down. But now people are forced to win 7 games to know what their SR is actually at, which was not the case in Overwatch 1, which updated every game. Other games also make you know that you're right there and maybe you're going to play more games because you see that. But now in Overwatch 2, you don't even know if you're going up. In Overwatch 2, you're grinding to find out if you'll rank up. You don't know that it will happen for a fact. The unknown factor makes you curious, so you want to keep on playing to find out. If you know that you're down like 50 points for the night, you might just pack it in and go to bed. But in Overwatch 2, you don't know anything. You don't know if you're staying the same or going down. Like this one player who won 21 straight games and got demoted. The balance is fun, the game is enjoyable, and the big plays and comebacks are all triumphs worth smiling about. But when I think about just how greedy this game has become, I feel miserable playing it. You know, I've played mobile games, other free-to-play games, and honestly, before this game came out, I mained Apex for like 3 years straight. But those games never had a reference point for me to look at and think, maybe we deserve better based on historical cost. Overwatch 1 let me unlock so many skins for free, seasonal ones included, and they never asked me for anything. Just look at this miserable amount of free items you get from the free battle pass, which I have because I haven't bought the premium one. The fact that loot boxes are gone is just PR and virtue signaling. They want to delude you into thinking that things are more better and fair this way. But better for whom is the question that we put aside. Certainly not for the people in Latin America paying an arm and a leg for skins, nor for those without an excess of income to burn on this game that used to enjoy free rewards all the time. Battle Pass and competitive seasons are 2 months long, with decent rewards, but when you factor in that Battle Passes aren't given to you in perpetuity after the initial purchase, the game actually costs $5 a month to play if you want consistent rewards. You are subscribed to Overwatch 2 for $5 per month. That's all this game is. Avoiding the loss of value, avoiding missing out on the cultural moment, even though the pricing in this game is anything but consumer friendly. The sequel has robbed new players of a genuinely rewarding and fun experience of unlocking cosmetics and ways to express themselves, and they're only okay with it because they don't understand the key difference between the predecessor and the sequel. Consequences be damned, the loot boxes were actually better for the game, even though they had very obvious flaws associated with random chance, which many regard as gambling. In Overwatch 1, if you didn't get that skin after weeks of playing, maybe you played more hours than you should have despite having exams. Maybe you spent too much money and now you have to skip meals and you're eating ramen for a week because you have to still meet rent. There's plenty of ugly consequences with loot boxes, which is why they are an imperfect solution. But getting a handful of skins after 80 hours of play when you used to get legendaries every week in the predecessor? It's night and day. The main benefit of Overwatch 1's system is that you could stockpile credits to unlock future skins, including the seasonal ones. But I guess we simply earned too much for free, and now Blizzard is playing the tax man. Overwatch 2 debases itself, because its peers get away with it. The monetization of Fortnite and Apex is not perfect, but at least their battle passes feel fair because you get every battle pass. These are the kind of trade-offs we make when we play free-to-play games, but I guess Blizzard's execs just couldn't help themselves and wanted a slice of that pie. Overwatch 2 is actually a subscription-based game that has the nerve to charge almost $20 for skins, when players used to earn a myriad of skins for free, including new ones. It's pretty funny to think about how much they've focused on keeping players engaged in Overwatch 2. Because while I think playing ranked is fun some of the time, I think the rewards are the main reason I will never call Overwatch 2 my main game. I know content creators are gonna brush it aside and say that the game is content and it's really enjoyable and it's this and that, but it's their job. For regular people, Overwatch 2 gives you fuck all. I crunch numbers for a living, and Overwatch 2 wants to crunch my finances because I got too many things for free in the previous game. To comprehend how bad things have become, you have to witness what we lost. Here is everything wrong with Overwatch 2. The Battle Pass is basically a $5 a month subscription. There's a lack of regional pricing that's extremely noticeable in regions such as Latin America. It takes 8 months to unlock 1 free legendary. It takes 4 months to unlock 1 free Battle Pass. And the rank system fosters addiction. The abysmal rewards tarnish an otherwise good game, and the lowered player expression due to changes in monetization really ruin the experience for both returning and new players. Playing enough Overwatch 2 to get the footage for this video was actually a pretty mixed experience. Honestly, I feel pretty miserable after the luster wore off because the ranked grind doesn't really get broken up with nice little rewards whether you win or lose. You get very little for playing now, and I haven't spent a dime on this game, and I'm not sure I will going forward. The Battle Pass isn't even worth it to me unless I want that Warhammer-esque Pharah skin, but even then the lack of continued premium currency really is just enticing me into subscribing to Overwatch 2 for $5 a month. It's not a stretch to say that I hate what they've done with this game. And I don't care if you boycotted it or not, that's not the point of the video. The point is they took something I genuinely loved, and I only quit because I got tired of goats, and they ran this into the ground. I believe that Blizzard's going to continue to lower prices and people are going to pat them on the back for doing something they should have done from the beginning. Just increase the weekly rewards a significant amount and players won't be paywalled out of your game that they could have enjoyed for free for years. I don't know if you knew this, but new players actually have to unlock the base roster of Overwatch and they have to level up a pretty significant amount to be able to play ranked. I didn't really have the time to grind the unlocks because in a 2-week time frame, which I developed most of my videos, I didn't really want to play that much Overwatch 2. So for that I apologize, but just know that there's clips out there of people going, can you play this character? And then the person goes, I don't even have that. When Overwatch 1 came out, I was a much younger adult than I am now. 6 years younger in fact, almost 7. I grew close to so many new people and I made so many good memories with friends that I still hang out with to this day, and some I even flew across the ocean to hang out with. But this isn't a worthy sequel, and I don't know that I'll play it ever again. All I know is that right now, in this very moment, I feel one thing. This game deserves to die, even though it won't. See ya.